So, an Asian woman, a bisexual Mexican, a Muslim walk into a podcast. Hi. Welcome to QuickCast, a podcast between esports friends. Fringe.
Oh my god, dude. Wait, you actually went with that?
Friendship,
Come on.
dude.
I thought we were trying
Friendship.
not to be stupid on the first episode.
Friendship is
I
the magic
guess we're
that trumps
going
all
with-
magic.
Oh, disgusting. Did not realize you guys were brownies.
Alright, so, hi, welcome. We're going to start by introducing Reza, why don't you go first?
I would be happy to. Thank you, Austin. My name is Reza Mahmood, also known as Sprint Speed on the overlay and through other work I've done, which I will get to later when we kind of talk about our past experiences.
Hi guys, my name is Amber, also known as Daddy. And I'm a third year, going to my fourth year student at university, and I've done some work in esports as well as marketing and business, and that I will go on later in more detail. I'm passing it off to Austin right now.
Hi, I'm Austin Sullen. Usually known as Gatticane in the gaming. Probably Gat for short. Been gaming since a wee lad. I was the collegiate organizer for Johns Hopkins University when I went there. I graduated. Well, if we're being technical about it, I graduated last year, but I just paid my last bill and I now have my degree, so.
Oh, wait.
Whoop-de-doo.
They just held on to your degree for like a year.
Yeah, they did, dude.
Jesus Christ, you're kidding.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah,
Jeez.
until I paid for my last class, which was statistics. Great.
Ugh.
Yep, I'm a neuroscience major. I'm done with that. I'm moving on in my life. I now work at a pharmacy tech, and hate myself, and gonna study nursing.
Is that why you're working with lots of drugs?
Dude, it's insane. People are just dumb. They come in with like the sketchiest prescriptions that they like clearly wrote. It's like, come on, dude.
Oh Lord.
Or the guys that it's funny when people come in and because you can get needles in my state now, and it's part of the Clean Needle initiative here. So we have needles, they're insulin needles that people are obviously, but we give them to them anyways, as long as they know how to dispose of them. So the people come in and they ask for needles, and then they pull out the sketchy ass prescription. It's like no, dude.
God damn it, Massachusetts!
Yeah, seems legit. So what you're saying is, if I'm in need of a fix, I can hit you up.
No. I value. I would say integrity,
Not
but
going
that's
to
not
federal
entirely
prison?
true. Yeah, that's more.
It's okay if anything else, like everything else fails, you can just smuggle you into Canada. You can live on poutine for the rest of your life. Good shit.
All right. Well, I have a question for you all. It's the one question to rule all. The question that anyone will ask if they have half a brain, and that is, if you were a Final Fantasy class, which class would? So important.
Okay, so when kind of go into this, because you mentioned you might ask, so I've been thinking about this a lot. And in terms of when I'm working with people, I'm not actually usually that great, but I'm really good at kind of bring people together, and I love kind of leading by example, by just putting in lots of effort and being an inspiration, nice and cheesy with friendship.
Oh my.
So I think in that respect, I something like a bard suits me. However, my singing and musical talents are, so you know how a lot of times you have like skill ratings or like levels for certain skills, and you might start at like in Skyrim, you might start at 15 if you're not like particularly apt at something, or if you have a natural talent for it, you might start at 20. I think mine would be around -5.
Oh my god.
I don't know exactly how that fits in, but I think thematically that probably works best for me. Even though bards aren't very, I don't get a lot of the glory, but that's okay. I'll be fine just kind of ninja stealing some of your loot.
I mean, I guess we'll have to force you to, for us sometime. Put you on blast, maybe help you drop the spiciest mixtape.
Fuck.
In terms of me, in terms of my personality and my capabilities, I would say probably that I'm something like a geomancer or a red mage, kind of like very, very adaptable. We're very kind of like pretty okay, pretty decent in everything, excelling at like maybe one or two things, overall jack of all trades. But in the team setting, I think I would be more of something like more like a Viking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy pillaging people?
Oh my god, like this. That's one of my fantasies, yeah. No.
Okay, daddy.
More or less just taking the lead, been dishing out tough work when it has to be done, but also being able to kind of basically be flexible enough as both kind of like a quote-unquote damage dealer or a tank if the need arises. Yeah. Austin, what about you?
Well, I was also going to say red mage for several reasons.
Shit.
Red mage is super average at everything, and I don't want to put myself down in that sense, but I also I have a decent skill set in a lot of things, but I never work to improve a skill set because I'm always busy doing a specific project or something. So in that sense, I probably would say red mage because it's good at a variety of things. But I was originally thinking bard, but then I thought, wow, I can't sing for shit. Literally.
Yeah, man, no, you can't.
Yeah, what kind of idiot would pick that?
But the red mage also has the same kind of feel, like a thirst for adventure, kind of like a bard would, but they're also more versatile. I think versatility is the key to being a red mage.
So what are you saying? So you're saying that you're basically a thirsty ass. Huh?
No, I'm just saying that I'm versatile in a lot of situations, and if someone needs
is that a versatile cap of pride or
no, that's a versatile versatility and skill set. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fair.
But they also look fabulous. Red mages always look good. That's important.
Yeah. I mean, Final Fantasy is one of those games that actually has female armor downright.
Nice.
Most of the time. Kind of like
Thank
Skyrim.
God.
Compared to hey, chainmail bikini with 99 defense. Somehow that works. Just all the arrows or they.
You see, when the midriff is exposed, there's actually a magical barrier produced by the armor that makes it stronger than wearing actual plate to cover your vital organ. God, Amber, isn't that obvious?
Yeah, damn. That's so true. I feel like in the future I should, or if I wanna go into war, in the military, that's all I should wear by that logic.
So if I go into the military, I'm just gonna be singing for my friends.
Alright, real life isn't Final Fantasy, guys.
Fuck.
It's in the fucking title, man.
Is
Fantasy,
it
dude.
a landslide? Is there escape from reality?
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Not this shit.
Not like this. Oh gosh. So,
okay, I guess we had a chance to kind of talk about everyone kind of like their personalities, and I guess we should kind of like delve into how we kind of got into esports, got into video games, and kind of our backgrounds in that regard. And I guess I'll pass it off to Austin in the beginning.
Not like this. Anyway.
That's a spoiler, man.
So
Gotta keep that on the DL.
Oh yeah, true. So when I was in university, I was approached to start an esports club. Originally, our school only had a League of Legends club, but it was pretty toxic. For obvious reasons. So we wanted to expand on that. Our school didn't have a lot of support systems in place to make a new club like this. So we approached the League of Legends leadership and asked them if they would, sort of spearhead this, and they were fine with it. So it was basically me, other kid named Willis, and a few other kids who were seniors that didn't really matter because they just didn't really care. So we put this thing together, and got our initial funding from student leadership. And it wasn't really a lot, but it was enough to throw some like pretty dank events. Like there was some good stuff we did. The hardest part for me was finding people that wanted to be in leadership for when I left. I originally met one of my best friends at college through esports because he wanted to be on the board. So he was on the board when I was there, but when I left, he didn't want to do it. So I didn't have someone to pass it on to. So that year, we found someone put together a Heroes of the Storm team, and he sort of took over the club. He's now the acting president, but it was his first year. But overall, it was really well done. I think he did a really good job, and I haven't talked to them very much to see what they've been doing and getting to. Yeah. So, but how we met. Me, Amber, and Reza, we went to, what was it? It was I think it was my junior year. We did
2015.
2015. Yeah. So we went to a collegiate summon hosted by Riot, which was a riot itself.
Oh God!
But
I'm leaving.
I think the best thing I got out of it was all the friends I met. Sounds pretty cheesy, but our magic of the day is friendship. So
what am I listening to?
I'm just imagining Austin is either face palming or there's just like giant like tears, emotional tears.
I think Austin's been indulging in some of the pharmaceuticals.
Anyways, but yeah, I met a bunch of people, including these two nobodies, and brought them together into the fold. As it is.
Awesome, yeah. Speaking of jumping into the fold, I kind of left the precursory background of my experiences more or less a mystery, I guess, when we were kind of briefly introducing ourselves. But I am an alum from the University of Maryland, College Park, which is right around Washington, D.C., which, if those of you that don't really know East Coast geography, is very close to Johns Hopkins, located in Baltimore. So, oh, baby. Maryland pride.
Gross Americans.
Ew, get out of here. Go away, daddy. But,
oh my god, not like this.
So for those of you that don't know, the reason we're saying daddy is because that's her IGN for most shit now. So we're not just calling her daddy for no reason.
They're calling me daddy for no reason. Don't worry. They just all have a daddy kink, and I'm the one true daddy to rule them all.
You know what's funny
East
is
Coast,
after playing with you in Heroes of the Storm, Amber, I've met 3 different daddies on HOTS with Reza, like in game, that weren't you. Like people named Daddy in our games because of how battle tags work. I don't know. It's just funny to me.
Yeah.
All right, back to you.
But yeah, so I was at the University of Maryland. I joined the League of Legends club at College Park, my sophomore year, I believe. I just kind of volunteered to help out with the Worlds 2013 viewing event, and I just really loved the esports scene, and like getting people hype was just so exciting. And the club leadership kind of really liked my involvement and commitment to it, so I was acting president my senior year, co-presidents with Lutano, who is our friend, another friend maybe I'll talk about in a different episode. But so since then I've done a lot of casting. I've presented on research in video games and psychology at a couple of symposiums. I've talked about esports at MagFest as a panelist. And in terms of casting, I've worked with, I was the main caster for like all the Maryland games past couple of years. I've done several other schools, a lot of them that were found from like my connections through the Collegiate Summit, which I don't remember if Austin went into exactly how that was formed, but basically Riot Games invited all the leadership from several different collegiate clubs in North America. Well, I say North America, but really just US and Canada, to apply for this like leadership conference held in Los Angeles during the summer of 2015. And so we were lucky enough to get selected, flew out there. It was pretty awesome. Got to meet these couple of weirdos, and it's been...
Love you too.
Yeah, winky face.
Ugh. Sorry,
so
continue.
Yeah, going forward, I'm an MBA student. I'm about to be an MBA student, as in I'm going to start in the fall, working at Shenandoah University to kind of publish and do some research in the business field of esports.
That is pretty exciting.
Reza is East.
Oh, God. Okay, I guess it's my turn. Like I said earlier, my name is Amber. My last name is Zhang. Yes, I am an Asian woman. I am the only Canadian out of us three, and making me the butt of many jokes.
She said butt.
Got him.
God. Anyways, I live in Toronto, but I go to school in Kingston, Ontario. And yes, we're East Coast, and I go to a school called Queen's University. I am currently studying to get my degree in Bachelor of Commerce. I am also kind of specializing in marketing, so marketing as well as marketing strategy, business strategy, all that jazz. With esports is kind of like what I'm really, really interested in. Now, how I got into esports is basically in my first year in university, I did absolutely nothing. And then in the summer of my first year, I was just like, well, I really should do something. So I applied to become one of the members on our school's League of Legends club, one of the exec members, to be more or less kind of like focused on community involvement and marketing. And it was during that summer, before I even got to put much work in, that one of my really good friends, David, and I got selected to go to the Riot Summit. He was my superior back then, and we didn't know each other very well, to be quite honest. The Riot Summit was actually the first time we'd met, so I didn't make the best first impression, but we'll get into that later. So after that, that was probably one of the golden years. I was able to kind of like propel the League of Legends community towards our school's kind of like student population quite a bit, through omni-channel marketing, through social media marketing, really, really nice graphics, website presence, like internet presence, and did some work in terms of sponsorships and stuff like that. So trying to establish the legitimacy of our club. And it was around that time when, going forward, my president David at the time was like, well, I don't know if I want to be the president anymore. So in the next year, what ended up happening was we kind of like co-ran the club for the first half a year, and I took over in the second half of the year. And that was when I realized that, well, there seems to be a dwindling interest in League of Legends, and there's going to be, and we realized that there's going to be new games coming in and out, and we have to be flexible. And it's not the best idea to have more clubs be created just in esports, because they're going to be competing for the same resources, competing for funds, competing for times, competing for sponsorships, and that in general is just going to become a whole shit show. And that's why I kind of approached a lot of people in the esports scene, and then that's when we created the Queens Esports Association to kind of bring all the clubs on, sports and PC gaming, Smash, into the same umbrella, so we can kind of like share resources a lot better, and that's basically what we have now. So
Super club.
basically, yeah, like Queens Esports Association actually has around 1.5 thousand members, making it one of the biggest clubs on campus.
Holy
But-
crap, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the problem is that it's hard to get administration to kind of give us special attention, because we're currently working towards getting a gaming lounge on campus. But let me give you a little bit of the background on Queen's University. Queen's University is older than Canada. Canada is turning
What the
150 this year. Queen's just turned 175.
Jeez. That's an old lady.
Yeah,
Old queen.
literally the queen. And so that's on top of that, we have about 300 sanctioned clubs on campus, so that's also a lot of competition as well. So that's gonna be going forward, and we're kind of like basing off our influence and our ideas and our goals off of like really big universities. So for example, like UBC is kind of like what we're trying to do. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a giant process.
Yeah, I imagine. A lot of convincing to do.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, you Canadians are more down with esports than some of the bureaucratic kind of things I've had to deal with being at a state university in Maryland.
Man, yeah. State university, do we have state universities? Well, like provincial universities? I think almost all of our universities are quote unquote.
Quote unquote what?
State.
Not
just
state,
quote unquote.
They're just like all of them get subsidized by the government in some sort of way.
Shit Amber says, quote unquote, silence.
Add that onto my Twitter.
Yeah, so basically, I have to tell the story. Amber's friends made a Twitter of shit Amber says, and it's fantastic, although if I ran it, there would be a lot more to say.
Oh my god, you should totally just tweet it from your...
I swear to god, one of these days when I'm bored enough, I'm going to make a shit Amber says 2, and it's going to compete.
I'll just give you the account.
Like first tweet would be call me Amboob, because that was a fun one.
God.
And then second tweet, actually I just got from today's interview, that makes me the butt.
Oh my god.
And maybe taken out of context, and certain words maybe stressed that weren't.
And
maybe taken out of context, and certain words maybe stressed that weren't stressed before. But that was definitely something you said today.
Possibly make more sense in the context.
Well, because
Does that mean
the
I'm a
context
butt
was
person?
that makes me the butt of the jokes. But she said, if I just say that makes me the butt.
Nice.
Yes.
Top quality journalism I see there.
Yeah, dude.
Getting those fancy ass headlines.
Yeah, dude.
Spicy.
The spiciest memes only. Alright,
Only
guys.
the spiciest.
Speaking of
So-
spicy memes, literally that's on my like Tinder profile. Literally, my Tinder bio literally has the quote "spiciest."
Holy shit. My Tinder bio has expert at talking about E3 highs and lows on it. Which is what I'm going to talk about next.
Damn.
In case any of you were
Damn,
left
that's some
wondering.
spicy transition.
That's
Yeah.
true. I did. All right.
But alright, so I'm for one the thing I'm looking to most in video games going forward, and this not only kind of has to do with E3, but just all of game development in general, is virtual reality. Because I worked, I got my degree in psychology. I don't know if I mentioned that. I have a Bachelor of Science in Psych, and I did a lot of research with video games as they relate to immersion, psychology, and decision making. So in my last semester, I continued working with the lab after I graduated in 2016, and we've been working with the PlayStation 4 virtual reality console. And if you guys have not tried one of the virtual reality headsets, oh my god, it's so cool. Like, I cannot express enough how just like jubilant it was to like put it on. I felt like I was 5 years old, and I'm like, wow, mom, look. It's really a unique experience. So I'm really looking forward to the continued investment from game developers to create some of the great titles we've been able to experience on regular screens, except now with much more immersion. And I think the Xbox One X is going to support virtual reality, but that's probably what I'm most excited about, since I don't have a Switch, and that's what all the other cool stuff was for. From at least it seemed like it to me.
All right. So what's your low? What's the low of like? What do you think? It doesn't have to necessarily be the worst game, but like maybe something dumb that happened there. There's a lot to choose
we
from.
can all agree on the thing. The low is a word that starts with B and ends with A.
Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah. Their presentation value was not great.
Not great is an understatement.
All right, first of all, clarify exactly who you're talking about in case anyone's confused.
Bethesda.
Yeah, a lot of people were expecting some new like Elder Scrolls 6 like title announcement, and then we just got a 45-minute presentation of Skyrim again. Woo.
They're milking a dead cow. I mean, like, the cow is so dead that, like, when you just squeeze its udder, all that comes out is, like, like blue cheese. And it's not, like, good blue cheese.
Oh
It's,
my
like,
God.
blue cheese Walmart. Like,
Just sounds like an infection. What the hell? Like an
yeah,
STD or some
basically,
shit.
like, Skyrim has been out for, like, how long now? Like, 5
6
years?
years.
Like, last year they released the Ultimate Edition or whatever. Like, it like that was nice, but like no new content, no nothing. Like, it's just like, even like a DLC or like some sort of like expansion would have been nice. I mean, like, to be fair, they have the 3 expansions, but like I feel like they're just like, okay, I think until we're gonna do something, we're just gonna Elder Scrolls Online this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what they should do is work on making Elder Scrolls Online not a bad MMO. Like, it's basically a single player game where every now and then you see another person.
That's a lot of shade you're throwing, considering you guys like play that
Dude,
all the time.
No, I don't. I
I-
have like 3 hours.
Yeah, I do like playing the game, but it's also a single player game. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't gotten to late game content yet, so I don't know how that works. But the game is a single player game that occasionally you can play with friends or see other people. But it's
And
just
there's
not.
really not a lot of classes. There's like, what, 5 in total? To be fair, there's different trees that you can take to have different play styles, but it's still very, very. It's
Yeah,
kind of
that's-
like MapleStory.
That's one thing I've always been kind of sad about in terms of Blizzard, because I for one really enjoy like the lore of games and like background stories and things like that, or character backstories and stuff. And when they made the transition from Warcraft 3 into World of Warcraft, I mean, World of Warcraft is a fantastic game that it kind of speaks for itself. That's been around for like what 13 years now, and it's still like the number one MMO out there. But I just feel like there isn't the storytelling can't be quite as tight, and you get a lot more kind of depth in terms of like fleshing out the world, and I think that's really cool that you can see all different parts of Azeroth. But when you're kind of going to do something like, say, in the recent expansion, I don't know, fighting the Burning Legion, I just feel like the story sounds less intense when it's like, yes, then a group of adventurers came and slew the final boss and all was good, instead of seeing something like Arthas v. Illidan 1v1 at the Frozen Throne like you saw in Warcraft 3. So I'm really hoping Elder Scrolls doesn't kind of fall victim to that, and that they actually kind of continue developing, but I don't know.
Yeah, and that's like one thing about games like these. It takes a very it's a very linear game, and sometimes it just breaks off in very unnecessary aspects, and the climaxes, like the turning points of the stories, they don't have that much of an impact as they really should. And like I know a lot of like modern RPGs, especially fantasy, base themselves off of Pathfinder or Dungeons and Dragons, but what they fail to realize is that like, yeah, it is a linear story, but at the same time, like, unless we can like make it less like, oh, I'm just gonna grind this boss or this boss for loot, versus like, holy crap, this is a well fleshed out character that I actually am invested in, and stuff like that. Like, lore plays such a big part in games.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned
like RPG, like
you kind of mentioned milking an old moldy cow with Elder Scrolls already. What about World of Warcraft, man? Like that cow's like dried up and husky, and now you're moving on to the bull, trying to get milk out of that. That thing's been around so long, and it kind of is starting to show with like the graphics and stuff. But I don't know if there's a like easy way for them to kind of fix that.
Make a new game.
World of Warcraft 2.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, though, they have to stop expansions at some point, move on to a new project.
yeah. But the thing is, there's a lot of people who pushed a lot of money into World of Warcraft. So unless if like there's a large amount of people who are like, okay, I'm not playing this game anymore, like they literally can't, because people would be really pissed. It's like, dude, I paid like $1,000 over the years for this game, and you're just gonna cut it off just like that? Like, I'm not happy for her.
Austin, what were your highs and lows in E3?
Oh god,
Man, I was so high.
So I am really excited for Evil Within 2. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm a big fan of horror games. I used to play them. I would come home from school and play 2 games with my best friend in high school. I'd play Halo 3, and I would play Resident Evil like 4 and 5 with friends. And I'm super nostalgic about them. And having Shinji Mikami work on a new game is very exciting.
Have you played Resi 7?
I actually haven't. I think 6 is the last one.
Watch through.
Yeah,
Washed up horror game expert.
Oh yeah.
Is it bad? I haven't.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things. And in the PlayStation VR that I've used, we used to do like a demo reel of games. Except one of them was Resident Evil 7. And I was unaware that it was called Kitchen in this demo disc. So I came into the lab when we first got the PSVR, a few days after the other people had already kind of gotten familiar with it. So they sat me down. They're like, "All right, you're gonna play this game called Kitchen." I'm like, "Cool, virtual reality kitchen. Oh, it's gonna be like Cooking Mama. I get to make spaghetti and chop up fish."
Oh my god.
And then I loaded the game.
It's that game.
I'm strapped to this chair. My friend's lying, bleeding out on the floor. And I'm in this dank old house about to collapse on my face. And when this woman comes out and tortures me to death. So that was not a fun experience. And I'm not a fan of horror.
Welcome to Cooking
horror
Mama.
movies, horror games. Yeah.
I guess you're the one who got cooked or butchered. I don't know.
Yeah.
Delicious.
So
not good.
that's one of the things I'm excited about. The other one is Anthem. Anthem looks absolutely amazing. The one thing I'm worried about is the quality of demos being significantly higher than the quality of games these days. I hope they keep up with their production value up to the last second when that game I hope good throughout, as opposed to what we just saw. Obviously, it's not going to look exactly like it, but I really have hope. I mean, it mixes my two favorite things, which is a Halo shooter with the
fantasy
expertise of BioWare. BioWare does do good games, and they I hope the mesh between the two is good, because BioWare is good at a very specific type of game, and them jumping right into first-person shooter that's supposed to compete with Destiny 2.
Right.
Interesting. And especially since they're competing with Destiny 2, literally the Bungie, people who made first-person shooters popular.
Yeah.
They're gonna compete with that. But it does look beautiful, and it does run on the Frostbite engine, so I'm excited to see what that game can do.
It looks really cool, but it reminds me a little bit too much of Tom Clancy's The Division, because that was a game I was pretty hyped for, and then it came out and it sucked.
I remember that
Ubisoft, but
yeah, that one thing. On release, people had to line up for the NPCs.
Oh,
Did you remember
God.
that?
Uh-huh.
Oh god, you guys need to search that up later. Because what they did was they made it that so when an NPC is interacting with a player, all the other players cannot interact with that NPC.
Oh,
So
God.
they all had to get a mandatory quest from the beginner NPC.
no.
So they had to line up, and then and then remember there's voice chat in the game. I think.
Line simulator.
And then people, literally, The Division was line simulator when it first came out, and then when people cut, they're just dude, don't cut,
That's terrible.
Yeah.
But also hilarious.
yeah, exactly.
You're waiting. I can imagine somebody waiting for the release at midnight or something. All right, I've been here 3 hours. Now I can go home. And fuck, I'm waiting in more life.
Oh my god.
I quit my job for this.
So bad.
Oh my god.
Well, that's unfortunate. But as for my low of 3, it'd have to be, I don't know if you guys saw was it Need for Speed? The Need for Speed presentation? So they had they had a famous YouTuber come in. The guy who does prank for prank. I think his name's Jesse. Or Prank vs. Prank. Did you guys see that? And
I didn't see the presentation, but I know who
I
you're
don't
talking
think
about.
it was Need for Speed. I think it was
or Forza or something. It was
Forza
a racing
7
game
or something like that.
Yeah, Forza was an Xbox only IP.
Anyways, he gave the most awkward presentation, and it was so bad. And I mean, I don't want to hate on the guy too much, but I think it also could be considered a high, because it really goes to show you how these companies that are hiring people to do jobs for probably thousands of dollars, they need to do more research. If you're gonna hire somebody just for the value they have for preteens, you should also make sure they'll give a good presentation. And it also shows you people are different than their on-screen personas.
appealing to preteens is always a mistake. You want to
Oh my
appeal to
God.
the like 18-year-old audience, and then preteens will want to,
To be the age.
join that.
Oh my gosh. It's like there's a fidget spinner like shop, and
God.
it's nothing but fidget spinners. It's just why. Like,
Have you tried using a fidget spinner?
no.
Alright, so I was skeptical, and then like my brother got one because he's 14, and I'm not gonna judge him. That's like the middle school thing to do. But I spun it, and when you like move it around your finger, the distribution of weight is actually like really. I don't know how to describe it. It's just really pleasing. It's like, wait, what the heck? This is actually like kind of fun, but I'm not condoning it.
You better not
Good.
be not on my
better
chat.
not be.
Get out.
Shit.
Man, imagine like being in a business meeting.
So in other news, we're having an opening for a new co-host, and
No.
just kidding.
Yeah.
Rip Reza.
Sorry, Reza, you're out.
God damn. Who's gonna be your cho?
Oh, true. Yeah, we
Oh,
have to
true.
choke all together. God damn. You're lucky I need you for something. No, just kidding.
Oh my
Just kidding.
Other than being a token Muslim. I'm joking.
That's
I-
mostly all I'm used for.
Yeah. In terms of my E3 highs and lows, so like I'm a big PC gamer just because I don't have that many consoles. The only console I have right now is the Wii U. But that just also indicates that I really, really do love Nintendo. So yeah, E3 highs for me, definitely the Nintendo games. Other than literally Sun and Moon, that's really unnecessary, and I felt like they could have done something with like Pokemon Eclipse or something like that. That would have been dope. But nah, we're gonna do Sun 2 and Moon 2, like bruh.
Yeah, I'm pretty skeptical about that. I do want to say that Black and White 2 were pretty solid games in their own right, as long as you don't like take a lot of the value from getting new Pokemon.
Yeah, definitely. Like the one thing that I did like about Black and White 2, apart from like its predecessors like Emerald or stuff like that, it's literally because oh no, it was Emerald, Platinum, and yeah, I think those are
Yellow.
yellow. Yeah, they're basically mirrors. It's just the games like for that it's based off of, and there's not that much new content. Like it's just like one or two minor tweaks. But the thing about like Black and White 2, and hopefully Sun and Moon 2 going forward, is that they're completely games, different antagonists, protagonists, different stuff like that. Like I think Black and White 2 had a lot of new Pokemons, and like that's pretty interesting, and it's just their marketing could have been a lot better. Like it's that's just one thing about Nintendo that kind of irks me, is they have such good games. They have potential for doing so well, but sometimes like their marketing towards like the older crowd is lacking.
And that's actually kind of one thing that bugs me a little bit about Nintendo. And a lot of people have been hyping this E3 for Nintendo. Like, wow, they have Metroid Prime 4. They have, like, Mario Odyssey. They have, Breath of the Wild just came out. Nintendo's such a great, like, company right now. But a lot of times their game libraries are, like, super front-loaded in terms of the lifespan of the console. Where in the first 2 years that after the console's released, you'll have 9 out of 10 of the best games the console will ever have. So if you play through those games that after the first 2 years, it's like the library just drops off a cliff, and there's like, okay, what do I do now? Just play Smash for the next 6 years until a new one comes out?
Yeah, that is really, really true. And like that was the case with like that was the case with the Wii U and well, like currently, like the Wii U has a lot of really, really good games. Like for example, like Bayonetta 2, for example, Smash 4 is always good. Breath of the Wild is available on the Wii U. Splatoon is one of the first games of its kind. It beat out, I think, like Modern Warfare or Counter-Strike for the best shooter of the year one year,
Damn.
which was kind of funny.
It's a fun game.
Which one?
Same. Splatoon. It beat out like a bunch of like big name shooters. It's- Wow.
Besides Halo 3, my second shooting game that I really enjoyed, and it's gonna sound bad, is there was a Medal of Honor. I don't even remember which game it was. It was for the Wii, and I became so good at sniping in that game. Like
In the Wii?
to snipe, you had to hold the Wii remote towards the screen. You had to press like the back button on the controller, and you had to tilt it right and left depending upon if you wanted to zoom in or not. And I got so good at like sniping people across map. It was absolutely insane, dude.
You mastered a skill you'll literally never use for the rest of your life.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If I work in a factory someday, I could probably use the same fucking rotating, but just it was quite fun. That's all I'm gonna say. And speaking of Pokemon, two things. One, did you hear Pokemon is getting the Pokemon game has been leaked for the Switch? Like they're they're coming out with
when
an
was this?
original
What?
Pokemon RPG for the Switch.
Wait, I thought that was an announcement that they said there'll be like a mainline RPG game on the Switch. I didn't think it was a leak.
Oh, I thought it was a leak. Never mind. Okay, so but was it at? I thought it was not at E3. Did they announce that at E3?
I can't remember off the top
Oh
of my head.
yeah. Pokken tournament.
No, they're like
Oh, not that one?
like a main Pokemon title that's new. Like it's not going to be like a remake of Sun and Moon.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. It's been announced, but
Actually, I hope it's not a remake of Sun and Moon. That'd be funny.
Oh
like
my God.
in the
That'd
end,
be
we just
pretty
get like
shitty.
Pokemon something.
yo, it'll be so cool if you can like all I want is a Pokemon game where you can play like in from like the beginning. You start at like Pallet Town, and then you like travel across the world and get all the gym badges, and then like literally like you have patches and like entering new like whatchamacallit, regions and whatnot. That's literally like the dream.
I'd be,
Speaking of which, I've heard in the new Pokemon Go update and stuff, they're going to be looking toward adding like gym badges or something.
The heck?
Which I don't know how that's gonna work.
yeah, I posted.
There's so many gyms.
I posted about Pokemon Go Fest in the chat. It's actually absurd. Like
Okay, yeah, you talked about this very briefly with me like yesterday, and it blew my mind.
yeah, like it's a convention for Pokemon Go use. Like it's literally taking their technology and pushing it to the next level. Honestly, I thought a lot about Pokemon Go when it first came out. Like the whole, the point of interest and gem thing would be like monetized pretty well. Like let's say you own a store and you want it to be a gym, like
Yeah.
you can easily, like, I'm sure there's deals to make it. But
Well, they've done one with like Starbucks.
yeah, that's literally was the first thing that came to mind. Honestly, I was like, wow, this is gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they did it really well. I don't have any complaints with Pokemon Go because it is what it is. There's nothing that's super disappointing about it. But
Okay, well,
I
alright,
disagree.
so I'm somebody that I still play Pokemon Go. I enjoy it just because I really like the Pokemon franchise, and it's a very useful way to encourage me to get off my lazy ass and like go for jogs. However, I've been really frustrated with Niantic because it's taken them so long to do really basic like implementations to improve basic quality of the life of the game. Like when it first came out, the tracking system was like not great, but it was there. And having like 3 footprints, 2 footprints, or 1 footprint show you relatively how far away Pokemon is got you excited. It made you feel like you're doing something. Like you could achieve, I'm actually a Pokemon master hunting down these like awesome creatures. Like, what? There's an Onix, like a Snorlax. Oh, sweet. I'm going to use my skill and I'm going to find it myself, and I've earned this Pokemon because I've tracked it down. And they removed that, which I think was like, which really sucked. Also, like transferring Pokemon, it just bugged me so bad that it took them almost a year to freaking implement, or maybe like little more than half a year to implement something where you can mass transfer like your 800 Pidgeys.
that's
Like,
fair.
holy shit. I didn't want to spend like 30 minutes clicking each one individually. Just like basic things like that, and like community outreach have been so poor at, and it's been kind of disappointing to see how they've handled that aspect.
That's a fair complaint. I don't have
Yeah.
disappointments. I'm not really disappointed by the game itself. More the community, the way they handle their community.
Mhm.
I think that's the worst part of it. Like, if you have an issue that you know you need fixing, at least address it. Like,
Yeah.
they are really bad about that.
Yeah, definitely that. And like one of the things about Niantic is like the only reason why they chose Niantic is because, you know, they made another game. I forgot the name.
Ingress, I think.
Yeah,
Ingress.
Ingress. And they had a lot of like art, like they already had a lot of assets from that. So like that basically
Yeah.
like, very, very good for it. But at the same time it's
Sorry, what, Amber? You're cutting out.
oh I am?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh sorry. So
I had-
yeah,
I
like
understand.
it's a lot of like in the beginning a lot of people like why Ingress, like they're a really really small company and they don't have a lot of people. Like if this was given to like a company with like very similar assets but like more experience, more stuff like that, like Pokemon Go wouldn't have quote unquote flopped as hard. Like if you compare the amount of people that first started playing Pokemon Go versus like how many remains right now, like the retention rate
Oh,
is
yeah.
absolutely horrendous. Like
God awful.
yeah, and additionally, like one of the major problems is like quote unquote problems is there's a lot of people who are like, oh, first gen is the only gen, the Pokemon purists. And a lot of other people are like, oh, like, you know, I want to see like every single, all 800 and something Pokemon be on it. And it's just like,
Alright, second gen Pride.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Second
third
gen.
gen. Pride.
Second gen Kappa
Screw
Pride.
off.
Yeah, I gotta go with Austin on the second gen.
Ugh.
Dude, Johto was literally the region Pokemon that like continue being a Pokemon
But
fan.
Mudkips, though.
I mean,
Mudkip doesn't hold anything. Doesn't hold a candle to a Cyndaquil.
Okay,
this is true.
fair.
Cyndaquil is, oh my god.
Typhlosion.
Dude, and then you get that rival who has red hair that you always named like
Yeah.
ass face.
Silver.
Like,
It's like a bad guy. It's a bad guy.
And he ends up being like Giovanni's son.
damn.
He what? Wait, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, he's Giovanni's son. Silver?
Wait, what the fuck?
I don't. Yeah, that just blew my mind
Oh.
too.
You're
What?
kidding.
I've been living for 20 years since this came out, and I missed this like important plot. Oh my god.
You're a friggin' idiot. How do you not know the lore of Pokemon? Oh my god!
Dude, also, like I'm pretty convinced that Pokemon is what taught me like to have a good vocabulary. Like reading that game when I was a kid, when I didn't even know how to read, like really taught me a lot.
Like casually, Endeavor. Fuck is
Oh yeah. Facade.
facade?
Yeah, dude, and even just words like evolution, which I wouldn't have known like as a 5 or 6 year old.
Yeah, and words like love and acceptance. Which I didn't hear.
Disgusting. You see, I grew up with like I'm more like a lot of kids end up watching like Pokemon anime. I grew up watching Digimon, so like
Yeah.
in
I actually
terms of
preferred the Digimon show to the Pokemon show.
yeah,
But
Pokemon-
Pokemon had better games.
yeah,
definitely.
definitely.
One more thing I want to touch on for Pokemon Go is that I was really mad at the way they kind of set up gym functionality. Because there's a very easily foreseeable problem when you have the entire global player base competing for the same spot, where you have veterans or really hardcore players going to be pitted up against people that are just trying out the game. And there's so if you're like level 6, like, oh, I'm just trying Pokemon Go, I've been playing for like 2 days now, I'm level 6, I feel cool, I have like a 600, I just got a 600 CP Jolteon, I'm so proud of him, I'm gonna go try to get a gym. Oh, there's a 3200 Dragonite from some guy that's level 36 and been playing for 600 hours at this point. Just tier the gyms based off level. Like, have levels 1 to 5, or, well, I guess you can't get into gyms until you're 5, but have like levels 5 to 10 be a set of gym tiers, like 11 to 13 or something. That way you can actually be competitive at all phases of the game without being super intimidated from actually participating in like half of the game interaction.
Wait, so what you're saying, like let's say you have a gym. That gym has different levels? Like levels?
Yeah, so
okay.
I'm thinking of a similar system to like the World of Warcraft Battlegrounds, if you guys ever played that. And I don't know, maybe other MMOs do something similar. I know some like scale everybody up to like max level and put them in there. But like, so you'll have basically you can't interact with any other people's Pokemon if you're not in the same tier range. So if you have like the gym, College Park Campus Center or something, then there'll be like a tier from 5 to 10, let's say, where only trainers that are level 5 to 10 can compete and hold that gym in that tier. And so that way you make it competitive for newer players. But then once you get to level 11, once your character gets to level 11, you move on to the next tier, and you have to fight whoever's controlling it from the 11 to 15 range. And that way, as you level up, the CP you're getting matched against kind of scales with your investment into the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's a way better system.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like very reminiscent of canon Pokemons. Like, what a lot of people don't know about Pokemon is like in the lore, gym leaders have like different set of Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for like every level. So for example, like if you have 1 gym badge versus if you have 6 gym badges, like if you're like, let's say against Brock, like he'll bring out like a level like 18 versus like level 8 Onyx or Steelix or whatever. So that's pretty dope.
You know what game I wouldn't mind them bringing to?
What?
It'd be very experimental, but I don't know if they'd do it. But so Amber was saying a game where you travel the entire regions, all the regions and all the continents, right? But what if they did something like that, where you started off at like kind of like Evoland, if you ever played that?
I did not.
So basically, Evoland is a game where you start off with like the most basic graphics and the most basic music. It's all like super basic, and then you go through. It's one RPG, but as you go through, you collect rewards, and the rewards update the graphics of the game until it's at like current level. It's basically a history of RPG. So what if they did that for Pokemon, where like you literally started out as like Pokemon Yellow graphics?
Wait, that's actually like, so cool.
And like the story's Pokemon Yellow, and then as you go through, you literally jump from like, I don't know if they'd be able to feasibly do that, but wouldn't that be like,
wow,
awesome? And you could just call it like Pokemon Chronicles or something, and slap it as a new title on the Switch. That would make a lot of money, I think.
Damn, that'd be like really cool to see.
They can literally do that for like a handheld. That's not a problem. But I feel like if they did that for the Switch, it would kind of like undermine the potential of it.
Yeah, it'd be more of like a nostalgia factor.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my god.
And the potential of it would be at the end of the game, once you go through the entire thing, like the end is like a new title, and then that one shows up. Like, wouldn't that be crazy? Like, you have to beat all the other Pokemon games before you can get to this new title.
That'd make a lot of people mad, but I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah,
if they ever make a
definitely.
Pokemon MMO, I think that's what they should do.
Oh my god, there's
Because
already quite.
if you go into an MMO, you're kind of going in with the assumption that there is gated content. And you can't access the newest stuff until you've already gotten there. But I think people would be kind of mad.
No, I
if
mean
they
they have to put a way where you can skip it. Like you can just go to the new game.
Yeah.
But like they shouldn't announce it. It'd be funny just to like have people play through the entire game and then at the end, oh my god, it's actually a new game. What the?
Oh, dude, it reminds me. I think it was PT called PT like last year, where somebody like Konami under the wraps made like this really solid like mini horror game, and at the very end is just an advertisement for the new Resident Evil. But they didn't advertise it at all, and they just randomly like put it up on the online store one day, and it got like it went viral because people were like, "Dude, this game is so fucking good. Who made this? It's by some indie company." And then at the end, it's like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be a new Resi game."
Damn. That's so. That's crazy. That's some crazy ass marketing. I always like hidden Easter eggs in marketing though.
Oh,
Where
definitely.
if you,
Easter
if you
eggs, like.
find them,
Like I remember in like GTA 5, there was like UFO Easter eggs that if you go like during a certain time when it was raining up the mountain, literally like UFO comes out and okay that.
You get abducted and you never see your wife or kids again.
Yeah.
Too
So-
real.
what do you all think about the new? I'm jumping back to E3 already, but what do you all think about the sequel to Life is Strange, or prequel, I should say?
Uh,
I have some thoughts on this, but I don't know, Amber, if you want to take this first.
I've personally never played Life is Strange. I've watched through it, but like I feel like could have done a new character. I mean, like a lot of people do like Chloe, but at the same time, I feel like it's okay. It's decent. It's a decent idea, but I don't think it was the best action for the Life is Strange.
Yeah, I think my thoughts on the series is that it was such a self-contained story. They shouldn't add more to the story because it was good as it is, and they shouldn't.
Yeah, it's like Cars 2 and Cars 3.
I never saw Cars 2, but I heard it was an abomination.
It was. I didn't watch it either, but I heard it was an abomination.
Honestly, yeah, Cars was a great movie. I had a lot of fun in that movie. But I see what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
but
It's like
Life is Strange is different. It's like it is an artwork. I think it is beautiful. It's not just a game. It's like a piece of art. It's like if I were to paint a prequel to like the Mona Lisa, like what?
Holy shit. You
Like
think Life is Strange is the Mona Lisa of games?
I wouldn't say the Mona Lisa. It's similar. It's like it's painting a
Wow,
picture
high
of
praise.
yeah. I do like the game, and I think it's one of the. I would say it's the best story-driven, like purely story-driven game, like where it's just like the Telltale games. I think those are starting to become garbage compared to like what they did in Life is Strange. They'll never achieve
Wow.
the same artistic presence that game had, in my opinion.
I mean, they've had
Yeah.
quite a bit of few good games in the.
Yeah, I generally agree with you guys, especially with something like an ability to time travel or something, which is what the original dealt with, if anyone watching was kind of unfamiliar. And to avoid spoiling the story, but like it kind of ends in a way that you can't really continue the series, so they're doing the prequel in Life is Strange 2. Life is Strange 2. I think it's gonna be really difficult to write in a good story that happens before the past game that doesn't kind of like spoil the magic that the first game had in a similar fashion to like Star Wars original trilogy introducing the prequels, where it just kind of leaves a foul taste like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is connected, but
It's kind of like the prequel that no one asked for. Like,
Yeah.
Like same with Star Wars. Like,
it's also hard to have a prequel when you already know what happens. Like
exactly.
in Life is Strange, the story and the prequels are like contained in Life is Strange. Like you know what happened. You know what's gonna end up happening. That's like a bad way to do a prequel. A good way to do a prequel is when you had some like briefly mentioned. You know what I mean?
Or like a side character who's interesting, but you want to learn more about them or something.
Yeah, and then you can make a new self-contained story that doesn't in any way like necessarily interact with the other story. I think that's better. They're like separate artwork. But when you start blurring the lines that much, that's when you get into story. Not be it.
Yeah, definitely do.
Yeah,
should have just left it alone, man. Like,
well, it's not out yet. It could still be good. I have a similar fear with the sequel to Westworld, or Westworld Season 2. If any of you have watched that, it's a fantastic show on HBO, but everything is so self-contained from past, present, and where it's going to go is heavily implied at the end of the season finale. And they're doing a second season. I just don't know how they're going to write in a new storyline that kind of doesn't make the first one less authentic.
Yeah, it's like I feel like these things are like filler episodes, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's a really rare instance where filler and like filler episodes that don't contain to the progression of the main plot is actually something that the viewers or players actually want, and it's really hard to pull them off well. So like I guess like it really just depends on how Tall Tales will do this. I'm a little scared, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever watched. I don't think Reza did, but you remember my Life is Drink series, the drinking game.
I remember you talking about it. Do you
I don't remember
the events that happened?
I was just saying. I wondered if Amber, like, I don't remember if Amber ever tuned in.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it was basically me and Angus. We made a drinking game for Life is Strange, and I streamed it, and it was fun. It was a good time, but
my favorite part about that story is that you have a friend named Angus.
You went to the summit, dude. You met him.
Oh yeah.
What is wrong with you, Reza?
Not like this, dude.
Not like this. Speaking of not like this, so not like this is a phrase that is very common in our friend group, and basically, it's very self-explanatory. When something happens and you want to say not like this, that's a not like this moment. You know.
Yeah.
I hit it up in the Twitch chat.
Oh my god.
I feel is more
So, for instance, when you're playing Heroes of the Storm in Bronze, and and you can clearly push the bottom keep,
God,
but entire team pings boss and goes to boss. It's just like, not like this, please.
Same idea with there's that one picture that I've seen a while ago, and it's literally like GIF of Zed with fidget spinners, and it's like it's like his score is like 0-15-2. It's okay, I can still carry. I'm Challenger Smurf.
And by GIF,
That's
do you mean a GIF?
I say GIF.
Wait, what the? Who says GIF?
Amber does, apparently.
Yeah.
Damn.
What would ever lead you to bastardize a perfectly acceptable term like that?
To be fair, like,
I'd prefer GIF over GIF. Damn.
I mean, like, GIF is not wrong, whereas GIF and GIF can be wrong.
No.
Yeah, but GIF isn't wrong. That's where you're mistaken.
I just think of G.I. Joe every time you say it. Like.
True. Alright, so
G.I. Joe
speaking of
and
this,
his bastardized brother G.I. Jiff. G.I. Jeff.
Going into the 21st
I'm gonna
century.
name my first child G.I. Jeff.
Holy shit. Spelled with the GIF.
Anyways.
Okay, speaking of not like this, I wanted to ask everybody what if they've had a not like this moment this week, or everyone? I know you've all had disappointing lives. So what is the most not like this moment of this past week?
I have mine already.
It's a Tuesday.
I know it's a Tuesday. Calm down. No, so the other day, so the other day, probably like it was last weekend. I had Taco Bell as I am one to do. And I already told you this guy's story.
Oh God!
But literally ripped my hopes and dreams. So I had Taco Bell, and I woke up in the middle of the night with
Pretty bad.
pretty bad diarrhea. As Taco Bell is one to give you. And so I'm like, oh, it's 2 a.m. I'll be able to go into the bathroom, walk out in the hallway, someone's in the bathroom, and I look in there, and I'm just like, look down at my stomach, look at the bathroom, look down at my stomach, and I'm just like, not like this, I gotta go.
No.
Please.
Ew.
Please. And I was like, literally debating on like grabbing a trash bag and just shitting in it.
Okay.
It was that bad.
Without giving me detail. Please, without giving me detail. Did this story end good or bad for you?
Oh, great.
Okay. No, wait.
No matter
Did it really have to be that?
no matter how it ends, it's gonna end great because
That's not true. What if you decide to go back to bed and give up?
I mean, at some point I'll still take a dump, and at some point that dump will be great.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Can we
Alright,
stop
let's
talking about you
move on.
taking-
Amber,
Moving on, Amber, what's your not like this moment this week?
Okay, it wasn't this week, so it was like the weekend of last week. So it was Father's Day, and I was like, okay, let's go get my dad a cake. And I went to the grocery store, and I was just like, oh, okay, I got a nice cake, and I walked out, and then like I just heard thunder, and I was like, oh no. And then you just hear like like, you know when you get like those like sneezes that when you like have one, like you feel like 5 more coming?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, but thunder. Like it just like it was thunder like
How
once
loud
every
are
20
you?
seconds.
What the fuck?
Oh no.
And
Literally.
like you see lightning like strike super close to you, and like literally like you're just like, oh, here's the thunder. And then like as I walk out, it just started like freaking pouring, like, and
Not like this.
It was
And
at
I
that
was-
moment Amber knew he fucked up.
basically, and then like it just started like pouring really really hard, and like on the way home, like I was just like, holy crap. And then my dress got drenched, and I was wearing Toms, so my shoes, whenever I like walked, it just made a weird sloshing noise. And yeah, I got home, and I was just like, hey, I'm back. And my mom was like, what happened? And I was just like, I got that cake. And
I'll be honest, I didn't think that was gonna be your story.
yeah.
I thought your not like this moment would have been that time when you Snapchatted me about your mom.
Oh yeah, but that wasn't last week though.
I don't know, but it
Okay.
was so
we can use
funny.
that. We can use that for the next week. You can do a throwback Tuesday.
Throwback to Amber's Snapchats with her mom. God damn.
Oh my god, my mother is savage at the most unexpected
What
moment.
the fuck?
Alright, we'll talk about that next week. Reza, what was
Yeah.
your not like this moment?
So Austin was present for mine.
Oh god.
He knows where I'm going with this. So we were playing Heroes of the Storm. You know, I think we were playing Team League. I think we were probably doing ranked. So
Most likely.
we're in this game, and we're trying to do our best. You know, sometimes teammates can be rough, but you always want to be positive with your teammates. You want to kind of keep the scaffolding of like team morale kind of well structured, well oiled. So that you guys don't have like your teammates don't have a mental breakdown.
Yeah,
They
guys,
want to
you
power
gotta-
through. They
You
don't
gotta
give
you gotta just lube them up a little bit, you know?
up.
A little bit. It's more like
Well oiled, as Reza would
full of
say.
lube
Yeah,
that we
well-oiled,
need.
well-oiled scaffolding, the best kind.
Well,
Just so you guys can support each other and forgive each other for mistakes and stuff. But we were playing, and our Artanis, who is like a tank frontline hero, and for those of you unfamiliar with Heroes of the Storm, a lot of times you're like kind of tanky, really beefy frontline hero will be like your primary engage. So they choose which fights you can take, and they're going to be the ones starting a lot of these team fights. So they're pretty important in determining when you can take which fights to take. So he's doing all right, and then he keeps like DCing, like disconnecting.
Oh god,
and then
I
he's,
remember.
he's gone for like several minutes at a time. And it's so hard because in Heroes of the Storm, it replaces your character if they disconnect with an AI, and it just like Artanis bot. And it'll kind of play according to the AI scripts, which is better than having them sit at Fountain like they would in like League of Legends or something. But obviously, they're not really if you're playing at a high level, they're not going to be anywhere near like competent. So we're playing this game, and we are backing off because we see that enemy team rotating down to the bottom lane. And our fucking Artanis bot just jumps in complete man mode and like engages 1v5 while none of us are there. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? And we try to go in and save him because of poor decisions. We try to go in and save him. We don't cut our losses, and like we end up all getting absolutely destroyed in this team fight. And so our I think we had a Valera at the time, and she's like, man, this is tough having Artanis bot, sad face. And then I replied to her like, yeah, man, dude, this sucks. And then Artanis replies in chat, guys, I've been back for 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, not like this. No, scaffolding just got like boiled up with kerosene and fucking lit up with explosives.
We literally just like shit on this guy because we thought he was gone, and he's like, I've been here the whole time.
I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be a shitty person. And like the rest of the game, everyone was just silent, like, fuck. How do you come back from that, dude?
You don't. You just take it. You just take the L. Take the L like fucking Sky did.
Oh, Jesus.
That was a good game, though. I had a lot of fun in that game. I don't remember what I was playing, but it was funny.
Feel bad for Artanis.
Yeah. This man is just trying to live his life. And be completely
just trying to have a good time, but no, Reza is like...
He's a shooting star, shooting through the sky. Like a tiger.
Oh, man. But anyways, unless you guys have any last comments, I think this will kind of start to wrap up the show for the day.
Yeah, I don't have any more.
Not for today. I don't want to, because like all my comments would be topics in themselves that could constitute like an entire entire next episode.
Don't mind me, I have to leave soon, so I'm literally like having my headset on and trying to put clothes on.
Oh dear Lord.
And like because like my headset basically acts like a chain, so I can't like really leave like the vicinity of my table. So I'm just like literally like my head is like towards the headset, and then like I'm using my legs to like pull my laundry basket.
Standing at like a 45-degree angle trying to
basically. So the weird like thing you were hearing in the background was me using my feet to pull my chair towards me that has my clothes on it.
Good Lord. Okay, I will
anyways,
I want to let you get dressed and live your life.
Well, yeah, thanks for tuning in to QuickCast, the pilot episode. We're gonna be trying this out. Yeah, we're gonna be trying this out every Tuesday. We're gonna be streaming. We're gonna try to put it on the same time, afternoonish, if we can. But if we can't make it, then we're gonna throw it up on YouTube every Sunday. So this episode that we're doing now will be up on YouTube on Sunday.
Oh yeah, and you guys better tune in because
Amber is clearly naked, and obviously we have
I'm
a
not
call
naked.
girl now.
Don't say it like that, dude.
I mean, Amber, go get dressed.
You're not my dad. I'm the.
Oh yeah, your name's Daddy. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, see you.
Bye bye.